My name is Brian Kanicki, B-R-I-A-N, Kanicki, K-A-N-I-C-K-I. I'm a detective with the homicide unit and the case agent on the Swan homicide investigation. 6 months ago today, on the afternoon of Saturday, September 29, 2018, officers from the Clearwater Police Department responded to 1033 Flushing Avenue within the city of Clearwater, where two subjects were discovered deceased within the residence. Those subjects were soon identified as Mina and David Swan. Both had been shot and their deaths were determined to be a homicide. Clearwater homicide detectives responded and began our investigation at that time. Our subsequent investigation revealed that the victims were last seen alive on the afternoon of Thursday, September 27th of 2018. Our continued investigation suggests that this crime was specific to Mina and David Swan. It was not a random act. The Pinellas County Sheriff's Forensic Unit also responded to the scene and assisted with detectives processing the crime scene. During that process, nearly 200 pieces of evidence were collected. We have continued to work with our local partners with the Pinellas County Forensics Laboratory, our state partners with the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, and our federal partners with the FBI Forensic Laboratory in Quantico, Virginia, who have analyzed and continue to analyze various items of evidence that were collected that day. During the course of our investigation, detectives have interviewed over 100 people who were deemed to be part of the family, friends, neighbors, business associates, contractors, and anybody else that was identified as having contact with the victims in the days, weeks, and months, and even years leading up to their murder. Investigators have collected hundreds of hours of surveillance video from throughout the area and that neighborhood specifically, and we have received dozens of tips which have all been followed up on and continue to be followed up on at this time. Actually, detectives were out again the last week in the neighborhood conducting further interviews with neighbors and citizens from that area. The fact pattern from this homicide has also been entered into the National VICAP, which is the Violent Criminal Apprehension Program managed by the FBI. The family of both Mina and David Swan have established a reward for information leading to the arrest and conviction of the person or persons responsible for this homicide. Today, on the 6-month anniversary, we're announcing that that reward has been increased to $50,000. Outfront Media initially donated billboard space throughout the Tampa Bay region and has again committed to displaying billboards indicating this new $50,000 reward and soliciting tips and information from the public. The point is, someone out there knows something about this crime. We are again encouraging the public to contact the Clearwater Police Department's homicide unit with any and all information about these murders. The Clearwater Police Department homicide unit has a tip line being 727-562-4141. At this time, I'd like to invite Bill Wolf up to the podium.
Representing the Wolf family and Mina Swan, we'd like to first of all thank the efforts of law enforcement for their tireless work in trying to find out who perpetrated this horrendous act, and that they have our full and complete support. And we also would like to thank the media for taking the time to come keep this in the public eye so we can try to get to the bottom of who perpetrated this and who took our mother's life and stepfather's life. Thank you.
John, if you had any words. Noel?
Hi, I'm Noel Devine, Mina's daughter. I can't believe it's been 6 months. Thank you for remembering her. I also want to add my thanks to the tremendous efforts on behalf of everyone who has worked hard to try to find out what's happened to my mother and to David Swan. It's extremely important to us as a family. We have kids. We have grandkids. They were her family. She loved them dearly. There's nothing more difficult than trying to explain to a child what happened. It's hard enough for us as adults to handle this. I can't imagine the tough conversations we've had to have, how those continue over the years. So we are looking very, very much for answers, We know that there's answers out there. We know that. We know someone out there knows something, and I hope they'll share that information. It's extremely important to us. We wanted the reward out there as a reminder that Mom was loved and very much missed. And now, the one thing that can help, the one thing that could help is finding the answers to what happened. So please, if anyone knows something, if anyone hears anything, if they've seen anything, please call the tip line. It's very important. Don't hold back. We would really love to find the answers in this case. We would like to have our peace. Thank you.
Janet, you.
Hi, my name is Janet Lowry. I'm one of David Swan's daughters. The Swan family would also like to thank the Clearwater Police Department for their ongoing work on this case. We would also like to thank the people of Clearwater and the greater Tampa area for the tips they've already provided to police. And a big thank you to Outfront Media for their donation of billboard space. The strain of Dad's and Mina's deaths is enormous. There are 7 children from 2 completely different families, all grieving, and all grieving in different ways. We are all struggling with the unknown, and our minds never rest in trying to remember anything that may help the police. Mina's son is battling terminal cancer, and our prayers are with John daily. As for the Swans, we all live out of state with full-time jobs and are trying the best we can to focus on our daily work, tormented by the strain of the unknown and the challenge of being so far away. Some of us still have children at home, which requires a different level of focus still. There are many young great-grandchildren who are frankly a bit freaked out that there's a murderer out on the streets and they worry about their own safety. 2 months before we lost Dad and Mina, our mother moved into memory care for advancing Alzheimer's. So in essence, we lost 3 parents at the same time. Part of the mourning process, at least for me, is to also take the time to celebrate the time you did have with your loved one and the contribution they made to your life. For Dad and Mina both, I believe they affected the lives of many more people than just their families, and we can only emulate their optimism and compassion. It is my personal opinion that someone out there knows who did this, and with today's increased reward, I have a message to that person. You have the power to put our hearts at rest. You have the power to stop the emotional roller coaster of fear in our young children. You have the power to stop someone from committing more murders. Please make a phone call, take the reward, and use the money to change your life. Thank you.
I'll take a few questions if you guys have anything.
With all the evidence that you guys have collected, what is it about this case that's making it so difficult to close, to solve?
Every case is very unique, okay? And this just happens to be one of those that we do have an enormous amount of evidence that we are continuing to utilize our resources that we have available. We have so many people involved. Janet spoke about having 7 siblings in this family. We have an enormous neighborhood. We have a lot of pieces of evidence that we're just still going through. And like some homicides, it just takes that little piece of information to pull this all together. And we're really soliciting the public for that information at this time. This is a tough case. I wish we could have a press conference today saying that we've made an arrest in this case. And I really believe that this is a case we're going to solve, but I think we're just that one piece of evidence and that one piece of information or tip away from doing that.
Chief Slaughter had said several times that the neighborhood doesn't need to be concerned. You still have that idea that the people here can live their lives without worrying about a killer walking around?
I'm comfortable with saying that this crime, this murder was specific to them. This wasn't a random act. And not only does the evidence support that, but our continued investigation supports that.
I know you can't go into a lot of the specifics on the evidence, but is there anything that you can tell us that leads you to believe what you just said?
I can't, unfortunately. This is very active investigation. It's something that we're working on daily. Like I said, we're out there today again talking to some of the neighbors. And we have a lot of our resources with the FBI, with the FDLE, as well as our local lab, still analyzing and still conducting some of those testings. So DNA takes a while sometimes.
Can you talk a little bit more about how going back to the neighborhood helps you all? I mean, were you
Sure.
able to get any new information that you didn't already know?
Absolutely. Each time we talk to folks, they remember something new. They have talked to other people, and it sparks some of their memories about things. So yes, each time, and it also kind of quells some of those concerns. They see that we're out there, we're still working this. This is not a cold case. And we want to stress that this is an active investigation. That every day we're out there doing stuff and working on this case. I'll take one more.
Yeah, one more and then we're done.
Okay. Anybody else? Yes, sir.
Is there a person of interest or persons of interest that you're zeroing in on?
I really can't elaborate at this time on that.
What about the family in terms of them being active? And you know, because all the time they're going to have people call you and say, what's the update?
Sure.
But this is an active family on both sides.
Yes.
Of the husband and wife. Just talk about their involvement and how it affects you guys positively or negatively.
It's been very positive. They have been extremely cooperative with law enforcement, providing information, answering questions. It has been obviously an extremely difficult time for them, but they've been 100% cooperative with us. And it's a very large family. As Janet alluded to, they have family from Oregon to here in Clearwater, Florida, and everywhere in between. So we've had a lot of people to reach out to, we've had a lot of people to talk to, and we continue to do that at this time. Okay?
Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
Thank you.